Welcome to OKT N227, which is used for MAE 375 in support of the MAE 370 Mechanics of Materials lecture course. MAE 370 and MAE 375 are required for civil, industrial and systems, mechanical, and aerospace engineering majors. The space dedicated to this laboratory is 1,048 square feet with a maximum of 24 students and 2 graduate teaching assistants. The laboratory is cross-listed with Civil Engineering CE 375 with reserved seats for civil engineering majors. Students access the laboratory at the double door entrance on OKT N227. There are safety signs that inform the students that eating and drinking are not allowed. At the entrance to the lab is general information about campus and laboratory emergency procedures. The laboratory also has signs about chemical and electrical safety and safety equipment, including the eye wash station and fire extinguishers. The Office of Environmental Health and Safety certifies the safety equipment on a regular basis. Students are required to use safety goggles when conducting some experiments. The MAE 375 laboratory outcomes for students are to comprehend and follow written and oral instructions for conducting technical experiments, to perform data analysis and interpret experimental results, to correlate experimental and theoretical results and draw conclusions, and to write technical results to document the experiments performed. ABAT outcomes for MAE majors met by this laboratory include outcomes 3, 6, and 7. The SATEC T10000 universal testing machine is a screw-driven machine with 10,000 pound load capacity. The load application and data acquisition are automated by computer application software. The equipment is used in this laboratory for conducting uniaxial tension tests. Safety goggles are required when operating this equipment. The VPG cantilever flexure frame with P3 strain indicator is a small tabletop flexure load frame with strain measuring capability for specimens instrumented with strain gauges. The equipment is used in this lab for conducting 4 experiments: modulus of elasticity test, Poisson's ratio test, stress concentration test, and principal strain stress test. The tech equipment STR6 torsion test apparatus is a tabletop torsion tester with manual load application and digital data readouts. The equipment is used in this lab for conducting torsion tests to measure the applied torque versus angle of twist response for a circular rod specimen. The tech equipment SM1004 beam test apparatus is a tabletop beam deflection tester with hanging weight load application and digital data readouts. The equipment is used in this lab for conducting beam deflection tests to measure the deflection profile of a slender beam under various loads and boundary conditions. Column buckling tests are performed with the tech equipment SM1005 Euler buckling test apparatus. A slender steel specimen is loaded in compression with various boundary support conditions. The lateral deflection of the specimen is measured while the compression load is manually increased. The critical buckling load is measured when a drastic increase of the lateral deflection is observed. Students are required to read the lab manual for the experiment scheduled for the class of the week. After completing the experiment in class, students perform post-processing and data interpretation of the experimental data off-site and compose and submit a lab report within 1 week after the class. In addition to the lab experiments, students are required to make a 5 to 10 minute final presentation for one of the experiments they have conducted. In the MAE Laboratories folder in the Google Drive, there's a summary page that describes the features of the space for your reference.